Hi sweet friends, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month and I collaborated with Icing Images to make these pink ribbon cross stitch cookies. I am excited to show you the process of decorating these cookies, so let's get started. The things that we will be needing are cookies to decorate, flex frost sheets from Icing Images, water, and a cross stitch lace mat. To create our cross stitch pattern, we want to create a paste using the flex frost sheets from Icing Images, so I'm simply ripping off pieces and dipping them into a bowl of water and placing them down onto the mat. You're going to cover the entire surface that you think you need and wait approximately 10 to 20 seconds until the flex frost sheets become wrinkled like raisins. This will indicate to us that the flex frost is ready to be smoothed over the mat. And now we're going to take a small spatula or a small bench scraper and we're going to push the paper paste into the tiny little crevices. I usually allow my first pass or paste to air dry for approximately 1 hour and then come back and repeat the process all over again, because you'll notice that the cross stitch lace will shrink and sink down, so it's a good idea to go back and fill it. After the lace has had some time to dry, it should peel right out of your mat, and as you can see, it will be very flexible. On the note of drying, you can do several things. If you have a dehydrator, you can set it to the lowest temperature and dehydrate your lace for approximately 30 to 45 minutes, or you can also allow to air dry overnight, which is what I did, or you can also use a blow dryer to help speed up the process. Now, taking the same cookie cutter that I used to make the cookies, I'm going to cut out a piece of lace so that I can position it on top of the cookie. For this project, I'm covering my cookie in fondant, but this exact technique can be used with royal icing cookies as well. I'm simply going to knead and roll out some fondant, and I'm going to use the same cookie cutter that I used for my cookie to cut out a piece of fondant big enough to cover the surface of the cookie. In order to stick my fondant to my cookie, I'm using some white royal icing, and I'm simply going to use this little bag to make sure that I get enough of it in the center. And then I'm going to take a small spatula and make sure to spread it all throughout the corners. We want to make sure that every single little corner and every space is filled with royal icing. And since we are using a spatula, this will also help with any bubbles that form in the royal icing. Then I'm going to place the piece of fondant and use my finger to slowly spread the fondant to the edges. And as soon as I do that, I'm going to clean up the edges using a scribe, or you can use a little napkin just to get the overhang of royal icing. To stick my cross stitch lace, I'm using edible glue mixed with a tiny bit of water, and I'm simply going to mix both of these and take a small brush, and then we're going to brush a small thin layer of glue throughout the entire cookies, making sure that we grab each corner. Then we're going to place the lace right on top of our cookie, and to achieve a successful attachment, I'm using a small bench scraper just to press down the lace. The easiest way to start the process of cross-stitching is actually mapping out where you're going to pipe. So basically what I did is I tried to find the center or the middle of the length and the height, and I marked a guide using an edible marker. So once I found the center of where my ribbon was going to be, I started using my edible marker just to trace where I was going to start. And then once I have the map, I'm going to make sure to trace every single little dot that I think we need to fill in with royal icing using this edible marker. Once I have the map of what I'm going to trace, I'm going in with my royal icing and I'm going to pipe in every single little dot that I marked. And for reference, I am using medium consistency royal icing to fill in all the little dots that I marked. Now I'm going to add a border using a Wilton star tip. The icing for the border is in stiff consistency just to make sure it holds its shape. And I did go ahead and pipe this all around the cookie. You can definitely leave your cookie as it is, or you can add a different type of border. Once I was finished piping the border, I allowed it to dry for 5 minutes and then I carefully painted the border using gold dust and diluting it with Everclear. Remember that gold dust, although it is sold in cake stores, is not edible, but it is non-toxic. So it should be used only for decorative pieces. And a great edible option of gold dust is from the brand The Sugar Art, and they have a beautiful selection in different types of golds and silvers and all kinds of edible dust. So I definitely recommend looking into The Sugar Art if you are looking for an edible option. And here is the finished look. I really hope this tutorial is helpful and I hope the tips and techniques help you in trying out this decoration style. Don't forget to leave me a comment or questions in the boxes below. Share this tutorial with a friend. Hit the like button before you go. Subscribe to my channel and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!